In the serene gardens of enlightenment, where the gentle breeze whispers the wisdom of ages past, the Buddha sits beneath the Bodhi tree, surrounded by disciples eager to absorb his teachings. Today, he addresses a question posed by one of his followers, Bhante, what are the signs that a person is weak? With a tranquil smile, the Buddha begins to weave a tapestry of insight, revealing the subtle markers of inner fragility. 1. Attachment to outcomes. One who is weak finds their peace dependent on external circumstances, the Buddha begins. They cling desperately to outcomes, measuring their worth by the attainment of worldly desires. When things go awry, their peace shatters like glass, revealing the fragility of their inner strength. There once lived a merchant named Raj who measured his worth by the success of his business ventures. He believed that his happiness depended on accumulating wealth and material possessions. When a sudden economic downturn caused his profits to plummet, Raj's world crumbled around him. Unable to cope with the loss, he spiraled into despair, his sense of self-worth tied to his financial success. In the end, it was only through the realization that true happiness lay in the moments of connection with loved ones and the simple joys of life that Raj found inner peace. 2. Fear of change. Weakness manifests in the fear of change, the Buddha continues. Those who resist the natural ebb and flow of life find themselves trapped in stagnant waters. They fear the unknown, clinging to the familiarity of the past, unable to embrace the transformative power of impermanence. Deep in the heart of a dense forest lived a family of deer led by a wise old stag named Arjun. One day, a wildfire swept through the forest, consuming everything in its path, while the other animals fled to safety. Arjun refused to leave his familiar territory, paralyzed by fear of the unknown. As the flames drew closer, Arjun realized that change was inevitable and that clinging to the past only led to suffering. With a newfound courage, he led his family to safety, embracing the transformative power of change and emerging stronger than ever before. 3. Lack of self-compassion. Compassion begins within, the Buddha teaches. Yet, the weak fail to extend this kindness to themselves. They harbor self-criticism and self-doubt, viewing themselves through a lens of inadequacy. Without self-compassion, their inner flame flickers, dimmed by the shadows of self-judgment. Maya was a young artist who poured her heart and soul into her creations, seeking validation from others for her talent and worth. When a harsh critic tore apart her work, Maya's self-confidence shattered, and she began to question her abilities. It was only through the practice of self-compassion, acknowledging her inherent worth and embracing her imperfections, that Maya found the courage to continue pursuing her passion, liberated from the need for external validation. 4. Dependency on others for validation. The weak seek validation from external sources, the Buddha observes. They yearn for approval and praise, believing their worth to be contingent upon the opinions of others. Yet, this external validation is as fleeting as a passing cloud, leaving them perpetually unsatisfied and hollow. Rohan was a student who measured his worth by the approval of his peers and teachers. He constantly sought validation through academic achievements and social status, believing that acceptance from others would bring him happiness. But when his friends turned their backs on him during a challenging time, Rohan was forced to confront the emptiness of his reliance on external validation. It was through cultivating a sense of self-worth independent of others' opinions that Rohan discovered true inner strength and resilience. 5. Resistance to inner reflection. Strength lies in self-awareness, the Buddha states. But the weak shy away from introspection, fearing the truths that lie within. They distract themselves with the noise of the world, avoiding the silence where their inner demons await resolution. Priya was a successful businesswoman who kept herself busy with endless distractions, avoiding the silence where her inner demons awaited resolution. Despite her outward success, Priya felt a gnawing sense of discontentment that she could not shake. It was only when she embarked on a journey of self-reflection, confronting the fears and insecurities that lay buried within her, that Priya found the clarity and peace she had been seeking all along. 6. Refusal to accept responsibility. Accountability is the cornerstone of personal growth, the Buddha affirms. Yet, the weak deflect blame onto others, unwilling to confront their own shortcomings. By relinquishing responsibility, they forfeit the opportunity for growth and remain shackled to their past mistakes. Arjun was a young man who blamed others for his failures, refusing to accept responsibility for his actions. He believed that the world was conspiring against him and that he was powerless to change his circumstances. But when Arjun hit rock bottom, facing the consequences of his choices, he realized that stake and committing to positive change that Arjun reclaimed control of his destiny. 7. Absence of resilience. Life is a series of challenges, the Buddha reminds. But the weak crumble beneath the weight of adversity. They lack resilience, succumbing to despair at the first sign of difficulty. Like a fragile reed in the wind, they bend to the will of circumstance, unable to stand tall in the face of adversity. Meena was a single mother who faced numerous challenges in her life, from financial struggles to health issues. Despite the odds stacked against her, Meena refused to give up hope, drawing strength from her unwavering resilience. Each setback only fueled her determination to persevere, and in the face of adversity, Meena emerged stronger and more resilient than ever before, a shining example of the power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest of obstacles. 8. Closed-mindedness. Strength is found in an open heart and an open mind, the Buddha says. Yet, the weak cling stubbornly to their beliefs, closing themselves off from the wisdom of others. They fear the unfamiliar, retreating into the safety of their own limited perspective. Ankit was a young man who clung stubbornly to his beliefs, refusing to entertain perspectives different from his own. He viewed the world through a narrow lens, dismissing anything that challenged his preconceived notions. But when Ankit found himself at a crossroads, confronted with the opportunity to expand his horizons and embrace new ideas, he realized that true growth could only come from an open mind. It was through humility and a willingness to learn from others that Ankit embarked on a journey of self-discovery, transcending the limitations of his closed-mindedness. 9. Neglect of inner growth. The path to enlightenment is paved with self-discovery, the Buddha concludes. But the weak neglect their inner journey, content to remain stagnant in their comfort zones. They fail to cultivate virtues such as patience, compassion, and resilience, stunting their spiritual growth and perpetuating their cycle of weakness. Nisha was a busy professional who devoted all her time and energy to her career, neglecting her own personal development in the process. Despite her outward success, Nisha felt a sense of emptiness and discontentment that she could not shake. It was only when she made time for self-care and introspection, prioritizing her inner growth and well-being, that Nisha discovered a newfound sense of fulfillment and purpose in her life. 10. Inability to forgive. Forgiveness is the hallmark of inner strength, the Buddha asserts. Yet, one who is weak clings to resentment like a drowning soul clings to a sinking ship. They are unable to release the burdens of the past, allowing bitterness to corrode their spirit and poison their interactions with others. In a small village, there lived two neighbors, Ravi and Anand, whose families had feuded for generations. Despite their shared history, Ravi and Anand harbored deep-seated resentment towards each other, unable to forgive past grievances. It was only when a natural disaster struck their village, threatening the lives of their loved ones, that Ravi and Anand set aside their differences and came together in a spirit of forgiveness. In letting go of their animosity, they discovered a newfound sense of peace and reconciliation. As the Buddha concludes his discourse, his disciples sit in silent contemplation, absorbing the profound truths imparted by their revered teacher. For in the reflection of these signs of weakness lies the roadmap to inner strength, guiding them on their journey towards enlightenment. And as they continue to walk the path laid out before them, they carry with them the timeless wisdom of the Buddha, illuminating the darkness within and without. Before this end, let me share again a last story. Once, in a bustling city nestled between the mountains and the sea, there lived a young man named Siddhartha. Born into a life of luxury and privilege, Siddhartha wanted for nothing. He spent his days surrounded by opulence, shielded from the harsh realities of the world outside his palace walls. But despite his wealth and comfort, Siddhartha felt a profound sense of emptiness gnawing at his soul. He yearned for something more, something that transcended the superficial pleasures of his material existence. One fateful day, Siddhartha ventured beyond the confines of his palace, accompanied by his faithful companion, Channa. As they traversed the bustling streets of the city, Siddhartha was confronted with the stark contrast between the lavish lifestyle he enjoyed and the suffering endured by the impoverished masses. He witnessed the agony of hunger etched upon the faces of the destitute, the despair of those crippled by illness and disease, and the sorrow of families torn apart by conflict and strife. The harsh realities of life outside his palace walls shattered Siddhartha's illusions of blissful ignorance, plunging him into a deep existential crisis. Determined to find meaning amidst the chaos of the world, Siddhartha renounced his life of luxury and set out on a journey of self-discovery. He bid farewell to his family and embarked upon a quest for enlightenment, guided by an insatiable thirst for truth and wisdom. For years, Siddhartha wandered the length and breadth of the land, seeking out the teachings of renowned sages and scholars. He studied the sacred texts of ancient traditions, meditated in remote caves and forests, and engaged in rigorous practices of self-discipline and asceticism. But despite his relentless pursuit of enlightenment, Siddhartha found himself no closer to the truth he sought. Frustrated and disillusioned, he realized that the answers he sought could not be found in the teachings of others or in the rigors of asceticism. It was during a moment of profound despair, as Siddhartha sat beneath the shade of a Bodhi tree, that he experienced a moment of awakening. In the stillness of the night, with the gentle rustle of leaves and the soft glow of moonlight illuminating his path, Siddhartha found clarity amidst the chaos of his thoughts. He realized that true enlightenment could not be attained through external means or through the pursuit of knowledge alone. It lay within the depths of his own being, waiting to be discovered through introspection and self-awareness. And so, with renewed determination, Siddhartha delved deep into the recesses of his mind, confronting the shadows of his past and embracing the light of his true nature. He let go of his attachments to the material world, transcended the illusions of ego and desire, and attained a state of profound inner peace and enlightenment. As the sun rose on the horizon, casting its golden rays upon the world below, Siddhartha emerged from beneath the Bodhi tree, transformed. He was no longer the naive prince who had set out on a quest for meaning, he was now the Buddha, the awakened one, whose teachings would illuminate the path to enlightenment for countless souls across the ages. And so, the story of Siddhartha, the journey from ignorance to enlightenment, serves as a timeless reminder of the power of self-discovery and the resilience of the human spirit. For in the depths of our own being lies the wisdom we seek, waiting to be uncovered through the journey of self-awareness and inner transformation.